This weekend drops the first MCU project of 2025. We're talking trailers, concerns, thoughts, theories, everything leading up into this film. That's right, this is the pregame show for Captain America Brave New World. We're just going to chill. We're going to sit back casually. We're going to just talk a little bit. I'm going to share my thoughts kind of leading into this movie, expectations, some of the different things that I have been seeing. I've heard some interesting theories, but I'm really excited for this film. If you're new here, I'm Brandon Clark. We do the Parking Lot Takes podcast, Christian and I. We're doing some other content as well. So thank you guys for joining me. But let's kind of get into some of the thoughts for Captain America Brave New World. Christian and I have kind of talked about it on the podcast, but I think this is a big year for the MCU. I think this is the first time I've been really excited for some of these projects coming out in quite a couple years, I would say. We've had some rough years. We've had some good movies in there and not. But this year is kind of a stacked lineup with TV shows, with the films. I'm really excited. But I did want to kind of talk about my thoughts for Captain America Brave New World because I do have a lot to kind of talk through here. And I kind of wanted to start by prefacing this and say, I love these Captain America movies. I think they are so good. The ones with Chris Evans, the first three. The first Avenger, I think, is really good. Winter Soldier is the greatest MCU film that they've given us. And I think Civil War is a worthy sequel and almost just as good. So there is a lot going into this film being Captain America 4, I would say. I don't want to say that I'm going to try and compare Sam to Chris Evans' character, but I will say it's some tough shoes to fill, and I'm really curious how that's going to happen. And I definitely have some concerns on this one, more so probably than any of the other projects coming out this year. But I'm still pretty excited, I will say, going into this. So what really kind of got me excited, I would say, first off, is the very first trailer that they dropped. I felt that this was very reminiscent of Captain America Winter Soldier, Captain America Civil War. It really got me excited. It was the first time I thought, this is on my radar. I should probably get hyped for this. But I will say the trailers following that made me a whole lot more concerned. I'm very concerned about Red Hulk. I don't know how Sam's going to work not being superhuman, how they're going to deal with that. How does this affect the MCU going forward? There's definitely a lot of things that I'm very unsure about. The one probably most of all, though, is Red Hulk. To be honest, I just don't know. I just don't know how they're going to handle this because there's a couple reasons I kind of think this. Number one, I don't know how they handle the dynamic of Sam not being superhuman and Red Hulk being this massively strong character like Bruce Banner's Hulk. I don't know how they're going to do that. I don't know how they're going to do fight scenes. I'm very curious how they're going to address that. It looks like from some of the trailers, though, they do kind of talk about Sam not being superhuman. He chose not to take the serum in Falcon and Winter Soldier, which is an interesting choice. I kind of have some thoughts on that. I wouldn't have minded if he would have taken the serum. Christian and I have actually talked about that. He kind of agrees with me. But with him not taking the serum, I don't really know how that's going to work. And I'm very curious how that's going to play out in fights, play out between the characters. I think Sam and General Ross, Harrison Ford's character, is going to play well together, like chemistry-wise. But I don't know how it's going to play in kind of the battle sequences and the fight sequences. So I'm a little concerned about that. The other thing I'm kind of thinking about too is, gosh, Harrison Ford is not a spring chicken. He's in his late 70s, early 80s. And I can't foresee him wanting to play Red Hulk for 10, 15 years. And so if he's not willing to play this character, does he make it out? Does he not? What does that mean for his character kind of going forward into the MCU? I don't really know what that looks like. I am very curious to kind of see how they play with that and kind of what choices they choose story-wise with him, because I just don't see him really being in the MCU for a long time because of his age. And Harrison Ford is already kind of he's done with the Star Wars universe and the Indiana Jones universe. I don't think he wants to do the MCU very long. But I know he loves working with Disney, so maybe he is for a while until he is in his 90s. I don't know. But I'm really kind of curious to how that's going to play out. I'm almost starting to lean towards maybe either he doesn't have his powers at the end of the film, or he dies, or something kind of crazy happens to kind of rectify why he wouldn't move forward in the MCU. I don't know. I'm not going to say, 100%, but I would maybe put a little bit of money on the fact that he's not going to come out still being Red Hulk. We'll see. I mean, we'll see how it plays out. There's a lot of things I feel like we haven't seen yet as well, which I'm really curious about. One theory I did see kind of around Red Hulk that made me a little excited is we may get a cameo potentially from another character in the MCU to kind of help Sam fight Red Hulk. That might be a stretch. I don't know for sure, but I think that's really interesting. Like, if they didn't show it in the trailers and somebody else shows up to kind of help Sam, I think that could work really well. I mean, that could be kind of the shock and awe for the audience, but if it's a character that's really cool, I think that could work. And it would also give Sam kind of a break and kind of a reason to not fight him and defeat him not being superhuman. Now, I know he's got the wings and he's got the shield and he's got all this stuff, but Sam's still just a normal dude, and he's fit and he's strong, but he's not going to go toe-to-toe with Red Hulk. So that would be an interesting theory if like one of the MCU Avengers popped in, or if it turned out to like Bruce Banner shows up and Hulk fights Hulk. I don't know how that's going to work. I haven't seen anything, but I've been trying to avoid everything I can. Reviews, spoilers, everything. But that would be really interesting, I think. But we'll see. We'll kind of see how that plays out. The other thing that I did see recently that I kind of forgot is the leader is in this film. And it is the actor who plays in The Incredible Hulk. I can't remember his name, but he plays in this film as the leader, which is really interesting because they haven't shown us anything in the trailers. And he's very infamous in the comic book. So they haven't shown us that, and it makes me wonder, have they not shown us other things? I don't really know, but I do think that's kind of an interesting note that I kind of forgot the leader was in this movie. So we'll see how that kind of plays out in his role in maybe making the Red Hulk. I don't know. Some of these trailers, though, I think they work. I think some of them don't. I think there's moments that look really good. I like Sam in this suit. I think he looks good, but there's a few other things I'm kind of concerned about. One of them definitely being the new Falcon. I don't know how I feel about him from the trailers or really from Falcon and Winter Soldier. We'll see. I'm very skeptical about him, but we'll see. I hope his part, if he is kind of annoying, I hope it's so minor that it doesn't really affect the overall film. But we'll kind of see how he plays out. Some of the scenes that I've just seen in the trailers are just kind of cringe, or they just don't really work for me, whether it's the humor or the action. We'll see. Again, these are trailers. Everything's out of context. So I try not to lean into it too much and try to pick it apart. But it definitely did give me some moments of pause. Like, oof, I don't know if this guy's going to work or not. Because I just was never really sold from Falcon and Winter Soldier. But we'll kind of see how he plays out. I don't think, maybe it's a hot take, but I don't think we really need a Falcon. I think this movie could be carried by Sam as Captain America. You've got Red Hulk. You maybe have some other characters pop in. I don't think we need Falcon. I kind of understand the chemistry there, especially coming out of Falcon and Winter Soldier, but I don't really know if we need him in the movie, but we'll see how he is. Maybe I love him. I hope I do. I hope I'm like, this guy's so likable, or he's just funny, or he's fun. Whatever it is, I'm gonna try to go in optimistic. That is what I'm doing here. Like, even though the MCU has had some rough patches in probably the past couple years, I'm definitely trying to be optimistic. I think out of the 3 films coming out this year, this one has the chance to be the worst one. I'm just calling it. If one of these is going to be bad, it's going to be this one. Which kind of sucks because if it is bad, it's the first film of the year. It sets the expectations. But I'd rather this one be bad than Thunderbolts because I'm so pumped after the last trailer. And I'd rather this one be bad than Fantastic Four because I don't want Fantastic Four to be bad. I want it to be so good. And we'll see. I don't want to get into a discussion about those. But I think if any of them is going to be bad, it's probably going to be this one. But I don't want to have that mindset. I'm open-minded. I'm open-minded to Sam as Cap, Red Hulk, all of it. I just want to see something cool. Giancarlo Esposito being in it as kind of the villain is really interesting to me. I'm really excited to see what they do with his character because he's such a good actor. He's just done so many good projects that I've seen. He's in Breaking Bad. He's in Star Wars. He's in a lot of things that I love, and I think he's a really good actor. So what they do with him is going to be interesting. How they incorporate the leader with him, like, I don't really know what's going on. If the leader's in this and there's all these villains, like, I don't know how they're going to really navigate that. I hope it doesn't get too convoluted. I've seen some films in the past where there's too much going on, and this could fall into that, but I don't know. We'll see. I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to push too much expectations on it that I don't really know, and from things I haven't seen really in the trailers either. I do think there are a lot of things that they haven't shown us, though, and I'm very excited about that. I will say, too, how this affects the MCU going forward, I don't know. Obviously, the film is probably going to give me some more indications on that, but I don't know how they move forward with the Red Hulk and Harrison Ford and a non-superhuman Sam as Captain America. I really just don't know. I mean, I know we have characters that aren't superhuman, and it can really work. I mean, you've got a lot of Thunderbolts characters that are that way. It can happen. But when I'm thinking about like Avengers Endgame, and I'm thinking about Chris Evans and how he kind of like deals with Thanos and some of the other characters, he really holds his own, and he's kind of the leader of the group. Him and kind of Iron Man are tag teaming kind of that leadership role. I don't know how Sam leads this group when he can't hold his own with something like looking down the road like a Doomsday or a Kang the Conqueror if he comes back, or these like Omega level threats. I don't know how he handles that or how he even holds his own. So I'm really curious as to what they're going to do. I don't think he's going to get superpowers in this movie. We were talking about on the pod the other day, actually, or maybe it wasn't the pod. Maybe Chris and I were just like chatting about it. But it would kind of go against his character if he did take the super serum. But I almost feel like he really needs to. I wish he did in Falcon and Winter Soldier. That way we don't have to have this discussion and it all makes sense and he can hold his own. But he didn't. And so I don't know what that means for the MCU moving forward. And I don't know if this movie is going to be enough to really sell me on Sam being a part of an Avengers team and holding his own. I just don't know if it will. I hope it does, because I think it can work. There's roles, but I don't know if he can be a leader. Because only like Avengers, you've got Black Widow, you've got Hawkeye. They're not superhuman, but they're not the leaders. They're definitely side characters. They do their little ranged attacks, or, you know, they get in, get out. Black Widow with kind of like her fighting style. Is Sam going to fall into that side character and somebody else is going to lead the Avengers? I don't really know. But we'll see. We'll see kind of how it plays out. Here's what I'll say. I'm going into this movie very excited. I really am excited just to kind of sit in the theater and see another MCU movie. There's been a few times where I've kind of missed some of them. Like, I didn't go into the theaters to see the Marvels. There's another one I didn't go see in theaters either, which is crazy for me because I was the guy who was sitting in the theater seats on premiere night for every single one of these MCU movies, every single one of them. But in recent years, I have not been too pumped to do that. I've been burned a couple times, and I've been like, you know what? This is not a movie I'm all that interested in. I'll wait till streaming, and I'll check it out. And that's kind of sad, but this is definitely one that I'm excited to go into the theaters and see. I'm hoping for some good action. I am hoping for some good Red Hulk stuff. I think Harrison Ford's a really good actor. I'm hoping for some good villains and some interesting things. I'm hoping they set up some stuff in the MCU to kind of give us something to chew on or look forward to in the future, because these last phases haven't done a great job of doing that. So I'm really hoping for some optimism in the MCU moving forward. But I'm excited. I'm excited to see this. So we're seeing it tonight. Christian and I are going to see it at our local theater. We've got a big IMAX theater. We're going to go check it out. We're going to do our parking lot take in the parking lot, so be ready to see that. That should be dropping tonight or tomorrow morning, and that will be a non-spoiler discussion, just kind of a brief one, and then we'll do a full-length spoiler discussion over the weekend, kind of breaking down our thoughts, theories, everything coming out of the film. So I'm really excited for this. I think we could get something at least good, but I can't lie and say I'm not very concerned about some of the choices they took. But we'll see. We're seeing it tonight. I'm super excited. Thank you guys for kind of joining me for some pregame thoughts. I'm going into this very optimistic and be looking for some of our other content coming out around Captain America Brave New World. Be looking for that. And we'll see you guys here soon.